Good day, students. I hope you're doing well. I'm excited about today's lecture on hospitality. What in the world? I think this is one of the great relational tools that you can use to develop relationships. Hospitality, the word that's used in the New Testament, is a word that has to do with loving of strangers. Now, normally, whenever we think of hospitality, we are always thinking about people coming to our home. And I'm actually going to put it in that light. However, whenever we take in strangers, whenever we love on people we do not know, that is a great way to show hospitality. Now, I want to tell you this. In ministry, there will be people that you want to glean from and that you want to invest in. I know of no better setting to do that than in a hospitable setting. And I want to show you about that today. And then there's going to be people that you just like, Lord, I am just struggling with this person. I want to give you a new weapon today. I say weapon because we're going to break down those walls. I want to give you a tool today that is extremely powerful. And that tool is loving on people that you bring into your home. Now, I don't know where you are right now in the way of the virus. I don't know what's going on, but this could be a possible tool to begin to use for evangelism and also for edification of believers during this time if they're able to get out and to come over to your home. So I've entitled it Hospitality, and I think it's in your lecture notes. And let's look at this. Hospitality is, number one, notice in our Romans chapter 12 that you're going to have to do a commentary on, Romans 12:13. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. You know, I'm telling you, Romans 12 is the greatest chapter in the Bible on relationships. And notice this, it's even mentioned in here. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. So what does that mean? A present participle of continual action. Hospitality isn't something you do one time. Okay, I just did my hospitality. Now I got that done in my Christian life. What do I do next? No. It is a present part given to hospitality. Present participle of continual action. You're always in a state and having people over to your home and loving strangers, whether inside your home or outside of your home. Hospitality is a present participle. Number two, what is hospitality, Dr. Shetler? It's a present help and love for strangers. Matthew chapter 25, that what we do to the least of these people, we're going to hopefully get to heaven, and Jesus is going to say, hey, thank you for feeding me. Hey, thank you for giving me water. Hey, thank you for taking me in. And we're going to say, Jesus, we never gave you any water. Jesus, we never fed you. Jesus, we never took you in. Oh, yeah, you did. When you took in the least of these, you took me in. And so it's a present help and love for strangers. Really, it's our love for the Lord, isn't it? Number three, it's a present pursuit to find those to be generous to. And that's that Romans 12:13 again. It's a present pursuit. We're actually looking for people that we can develop these relationships with. I'm telling you something. When you bring people in your home, there is a wall, no matter who they are. And they could be someone that you've been struggling with in ministry. But you have them over for pizza. You have them over to watch something. You have them over to do something with them. And they come into your home and you love on them no matter who they are. Those walls are broken down now. And maybe it's like, man, I have so struggled with this person in ministry. Then have some hospitality and you'll find an amazing difference. Number 4, A present gladness, not grief. Look at what it says here. A present gladness, not grief. 1 Peter 4:9. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. Okay, pastor's telling us we have to have people over at the house. Okay, I would encourage you not to have people over at the house. Because if there's one thing that is like the worst thing you can do, is to say, okay, we'll open up our house and have these people over, and you don't want to do it. Let me tell you, that grudging spirit, it's going to actually be worse than if you didn't have them at all. That's a great, use hospitality one to another without grudging. Oh, Dr. Scheller taught this lesson. I got to do this now. No, you do not. And believe me, if that's your spirit in doing it, it won't be a good time at all. And yeah, I won't go any further than that. 5, a present opportunity to meet the supernatural. What are you talking about, Brother Scheller? Oh, this is great. Hebrews 13:2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers. Entertain strangers. Be hospitable to strangers. For thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Hey, man, practice hospitality and you may get some angels visit your home. Oh, come. That's what Hebrews 13:2 says. Be not forgetful to entertain. Be hospitable to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Isn't that the coolest thing? And number 6, a present need in our church. I really do believe this. And especially during these times and going through this virus and what's going on in our country. One of the great needs in our church right now is hospitality. Having people over and loving on them. So what are the 10 commandments to hospitality? Dr. Scheller, didn't we have the 10 commandments to corrective communication? We did. Now we're going to have the 10 commandments to hospitality. A lot of commandments in relationships. But if you're going to be what God wants you to be, there's some things you got to do. I think you're going to actually love these. By the way, for a side point, I used to give these to my deacons when I pastored for 25 years. I said, listen, you got to get people into your home. You got to love on them. That's what's going to bring our body together. Here are the 10 commandments. I used to give to my deacons all the time, the 10 and their deacons' wives, the 10 commandments to hospitality. Number 1, thou shalt open your home to guests, not just friends and family. All right, stop. Hospitality is the love of strangers, okay? Thou shalt open your home to guests, not just your friends and family. Number 2, thou shalt not feel pressure to have a perfect home or meal. Once my wife understood commandment number 2, our whole life changed on the area of hospitality. Thou shalt not feel pressure to have a perfect home or meal. See, this is why a lot of people don't have people over. Is because they feel like they got to have white glove in their house. They have to have the best china. They have to have the best meal. And it wears you out. Now listen, you get your bathroom clean, you get your family room clean, and you serve pizza. And you know what? You have people over to your home. You don't have to do white glove in your house to have people over. You don't have to have the best meal in the world. Listen, I think we have focused way too much on the decorations and the food instead of the love that we should have for other people. Have people over to your home. Don't worry about that maybe a room in your house isn't clean or whatever. I think what attracted those people and what impacted those people is that you had them in your home. And maybe that they see a real home is okay too. So I'm telling you, thou shalt not feel pressure to have a perfect home or meal. Number 3, thou shalt not expect something in return. That's important. Oh, I have them over, they have me over. No. Thou shalt not expect something in return. Have people over to your house that can't give you anything back. There's your Christianity. Having people over to your home to win an influence or to get something from them is not biblical hospitality. You love on people that can't give you anything back. Number 4, thou shalt take initiative and not wait to be asked. Don't wait for, because then it's going to be the grudgingly thing. Don't wait to be asked to have hospitality. You see the need, take the lead. There's people in your church hurting right now, or there's a relationship between you and somebody in that home or in that church. Don't wait to be, just take the initiative. See the need, take the lead. Number 5, thou shalt talk about spiritual things at some point. All right, this is a big deal. These are so good. One of the things I really stress with my deacons about hospitality, and one of the things that the Shettlers do, we have hundreds of people over at our home. There will always be a time of prayer, usually a time of praise, and I will share something spiritually to anyone. And I will share something spiritually. We'll have a spiritual conversation. I'll ask questions, usually is the best thing to do. And you know what, one other cool Bible study, just do Proverbs. Whatever the Proverbs of the day was, hey, let's just read a few verses from Proverbs before we all leave. Hey, if you're having people over to your home, I would really encourage you to have at some point, it wasn't just about the food or about sports or even just about the church. There ought to be a spiritual conversation somewhere in the hospitality. That's a really good point. Number 6, thou shalt be on the lookout for people you can demonstrate hospitality to. You and your spouse ought to be looking, hey, who could we? And right now, you students, you ought to be lookout for people who need to be loved on. Number 7, thou shalt not quit after a bad experience. These are so good. Okay, so chances are, if you practice what I have taught, you're going to get burned. I'm telling you. There's going to be a couple, someone come over, and it was like, okay, that was like the worst experience in the world. Don't quit. Hospitality is biblical. You're loving on people that can't do anything back to you. I guarantee you guys, you're going to be taken advantage of at some point, and you're going to have a bad experience. Don't quit on a biblical command of hospitality because you had a bad experience. Number 7, you're going to need that. And the more you do hospitality, the more you're going to have some bad experiences with it. Okay, I'm not telling you every time you have hospitality, it's just like the greatest thing in the world. We've invited people over, it's like, okay, that wasn't that great a deal. Whatever, why I'm not going to go into. Number 8, thou shalt make people feel at home. That's what it's all about. That's what you just make them feel at home. And you just make them feel comfortable. And that's why I don't think the house has to be perfect. That every room has to be vacuumed or whatever. I don't think you just make them feel at home with your love and your concern. And number 9, thou shalt not be afraid to have an overnight guest. Now I know that can get a little scary, but we have, over the years, we have always had a guest room where people could stay. And I think we've been a blessing to people. And I think having those people in have been a blessing to my kids, to my children, and to my wife and I as well. And I'm telling you, you have somebody stay at your home, there's a bond that grows with that. And there's something that you're saying that's very special. Number 10, thou shalt recognize your home as a gift to use for kindness, charity, and Christian hospitality. Hey, God has given you a place to live. Use that as a tool for God. It's a gift. That home, that apartment, that condo, that trailer, God's given you that. Use that as a gift for God's work. I'm telling you, you'll be glad that you did. The title of our class is Relationships in Ministry. When it's all said and done, some of the greatest relationships you'll ever develop in ministry will not happen at the church. They'll happen in your home. And some of the most difficult people that you've had to work with or minister to, you get them in your home, and it's like that relationship will never be the same. This is a great lesson on relationships in ministry. Hope you get it down. You'll be tested on it in a couple more lessons, but I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you start practicing. By the way, I would love for you to post of a situation where you did some hospitality and how you use these, and maybe share this lesson to some other people in the church. But if you practice this lesson in the next week or so, you gotta let us know. You gotta post that, and I would love to do that. And sure, I'll give some extra credit for those posts as well. All right, thanks.